kids nowadays, they watch movies, they watch music videos, they look at photos, you know, they look at graphic arts, you know. So what's to stop me from, you know, having a say in what my generation sees or interprets or what they like?
Film has just given me a voice like that I didn't know I had before. It just gave me a new way to express how I'm feeling and express my ideas, because I was never a really good writer.
At music, it's always been something that I wanted to do. I always wanted, like, you know, music lessons, like, Mom, can I get piano lessons over and over again? But I could never really get that.
If I can't access the place where I like to practice my passion, then where do I go? That's pretty much a dream deferred.
Digital Youth Network was started over 5 years ago, really out of trying to understand how we can support youth in learning to use digital media for all aspects of their life. We started out as just an after-school program, but we quickly developed an in-school media arts program. We've also then, in the last year, established a partnership with the Chicago Public Library to open up a high school-only space called U-Media, which is a space just for 9th to 12th graders.
The thing that drew me in about DYN was studio upstairs. Spot for inspiration, really, and on top of the inspiration, it's a spot where you have the tools as well.
I go in there and know that I want to shoot in this location, but I don't go in and say, okay, I know for a fact I want this angle, I know for a fact I want this angle. I just go out and have fun, and, you know, I talk to the people who I'm shooting. I mean, it's more like a hangout rather than an actual photo shoot. You know, it makes everything feel more comfortable, and my photos always come out better that way. I look forward to the outcome of each picture, you know. As I'm showing people my portfolio, I like to see their reactions because that's something I like personally.
If your learning is just about what you've learned now, I mean, how much did you master? It isn't all that useful, because in 5 years from now, a lot of it will be out of date or transformed, or there'll be completely new things for you to learn. So in our world, in the 21st century, kids need to get a deep passion, because learning requires a lot of practice. And it kind of doesn't matter what passion you get when you're a little kid, because the passion becomes about how do you become a learner.
He spent a lot of time working and learning to do video, but he also decided to move in a different direction, and he self-taught himself how to do photography and also how to do graphic design. I mean, he's definitely gotten some instruction from us, but he sort of came back to us with the skill set in graphic design. And when asked how you learned to do it, he said, "Oh, I found all these videos on YouTube, and I've taught myself how to do it." And I think there's so many examples like him of a kid that if you put opportunities in front of him, he'll take advantage of them. But if he doesn't have those opportunities, he's going to find ways to spend his time that might not be the most advantageous for him.
This does keep me out of trouble, you know what I mean? I don't really have to, you know, go out and kick it until 4 o'clock in the morning all the time, you know, just to have a story to tell the next day. You know what I mean? Sometimes I could just, you know, come home, sit, you know, look up, you know, different photographers, or I can do I can retouch some stuff myself.
We did a project 2 years ago called Division 201, where over a course of 6 weeks, we created a really nice 15-minute short on just diversity in the school and how segregated people actually are inside of the classroom.
Marhaba, I'm Maritza. I'm Maritza.
I'm guessing you're Maritza. I'm Mr. Cartman, and this is Division 201.
People say, oh, you know, that digital media is killing reading and writing. Not true at all. It's changing the ecology of reading and writing. Different practices happen, different types of texts are produced, but by no means is it killing them. Kids are reading and writing more than they ever did, but they're just not doing the type of reading where you sit in your bedroom by yourself reading a novel.
Media work builds on top of traditional literacy. And if a kid hasn't had art, if they don't understand color, if they don't understand shapes and circles, then it's very hard for them to say, oh, we want to do graphic design. You can't write a movie unless you create a script first. Oftentimes, great songs have to be written down. Right, so the final product we're seeing is often the video format, but so many traditional forms of literacies go on.
Over the course of being a part of DYN, I've had to do a lot of collaborating, and I just had to learn how to, sometimes you have to take the passenger seat, not the back seat, but sometimes you do have to take the passenger seat and just go along for the ride.
Because with doing film and media, you always have to be open-minded in everything that you look at. You learn a lot about people, how to connect to them, how to reach them, how to help them, what to say, what not to say. Like it pretty much makes you this very well-rounded person, you know, and being able to fit in every pocket of society.
Because it's awesome.
I think my involvement with DYN affects everything that I get accepted to, because it looks so good on my application because it's so extensive, and since I've been with them so long, it shows such a big commitment.
That sucks. Uh-oh, you just did a don't. Don't? What's a don't?
Don't gossip.
I'm going to Oberlin College next year in Ohio. I'm going to major in cinema studies, mathematics, and computer science. And after all of this, I plan on opening up my own film production company with my best friend.
Well, many of us as researchers would like to connect the ability to do digital media with being more engaged citizens. And what we saw is that as kids got older, so as they got to, the late part of 7th grade and 8th grade year, they started applying their skill set more so in the community. So initially, you see them only applying them in the after-school program. Then you start seeing them taking them into their home and sharing it with their cousins, with their parents. And then you see them start doing workshops. We have kids doing workshops in schools, kids doing this work in their church.
He's walking. Now we want to try to estimate him in that same position.
The class I'm teaching is a video editing pod. It's with 6th and 7th graders.
I think you did good. Like in the beginning, you actually showed Jalen instead of him popping up in the middle of the video.
I started off as just a student, and now I actually have my own class, and I used to just be a part of the class. And I don't know any teenager or a senior in high school that has a class full of students where they get to teach and create their own curriculum.
What about that first cut? Wasn't that clean?
That was good, though.
That was perfect.
That was pretty perfect.
Teachers and schools are very well aware of the fact that a lot of learning happens outside of the classroom.